Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at another knife from Victorinox, and this one was purchased from my good friend Dan over at Bladebridge Customs. Make sure you check him out, he's bringing out some really cool pieces. He's moving more into the vintage, older / discontinued models of Victorinox and Wenger. So make sure you check him out. I'll put his link to his Instagram and his website in the description to this video. He's got some really cool stuff on there at the moment. I've picked up some really interesting bits to show you guys. I'm going to show you one of those today. So this one, as I mentioned, is from Victorinox, and it is the Cybertool, and that is the Cybertool S or 29, depending on how you want to call it. The 29 being the older of the model names, and the model number for this is 1.7605.T. And you can see this one is featuring these really nice sort of custom scales. Looks to be these sort of like star / snowflake scales. I have ordered some of the original jelly red or ruby scales to replace these, because I really want to make this thing original. But you can see we've got the Victorinox shield on there, which is wonderfully inlaid, and this brilliant laser etching on there. We'll be using this on another one of my Swiss Army knives. I do think it's really cool. You can see that on there. It's been done so well. You can see the Cybertool then is a 3-layer design, but quite a chunky 3-layer design. As you can see, we have this big tool in the middle. But we'll start with the outside tools first. So you can see we have the keyring, which counts as tool number 1. We have the tweezers on the front scale. And then on the back scale, as you get standard with most models, is the toothpick. And of course, this being a standard sort of size Swiss Army knife, it is the 91mm. And you can see that equates to the 3.6 inches pretty much closed length. So a great size to carry. My sort of favourite and choice to go to is a 91mm. For me, possibly a little thick. I tend to go for like a 2-layer or like a kind of a thin 3-layer. The Yeoman being the sort of thickest 3-layer I'd like to go for. But this is one I'm definitely going to carry in a little pouch and put it to the test and see if I like it. Unfortunately though, the Cybertool is actually discontinued as of the start of this year, which is a bit of a shame, but you can still pick up the medium and the large, but there is still some of the small available on the Victorinox website. They are on there about £85, so they are a bit pricey, but you can pick these up on the secondary market for a bit cheaper. Unfortunately, this one didn't come with the box, but I had to pull the trigger on it because it's the sort of the cheapest and the best price I could find for one. But we'll take a look at the scales, or the tools on this, I should say. On the right-hand side then, you have the can opener and the small flathead screwdriver. See a nice clean nail nick on there, and you can see this one has been used. It's nice to see and get some that have actually been used and carried. Does add a bit more character to the knife. On the left-hand side then, we have the standard cap lifter, wire bender, and the larger flathead screwdriver. Of course, that being on a half stop. Middle layer then, one of the reasons why I've wanted to pick up a Cybertool for so long, you get this inline bit driver that you can use at the 90-degree angle for some real nice torque, or you can open it all the way and have like an interchangeable inline screwdriver, and you can get in really tight places with this because the head of it is quite small. And it does come as well, if you pull back on this little black tab, it does come with a selection of bits as well, which is really cool. So you can see on there we have a small Phillips, a larger Phillips. We have what looks to be a T6 and a T4 possibly, or a T5. And then we have another larger, looks maybe to be a T8 and a T10. And then a real chunky one down here with a flathead and a big boy Phillips driver on there as well. And they just sort of fit nicely into these sort of slots on there, and it does hold them in real nice and tight, so they're not going to fall out when you're using it, or when you take it up, you're using it on site or using it for your job. You're not going to be concerned that the bits are going to fall out and you're going to lose them. And then it's a nice little click to hold them in the air, the end there as well. That of course does have a half stop to make it secure when you're using it in that sort of 90-degree angle. A nice snap on the close, which then as well holds the bits inside, so they're not going to fall out, and you can see they're nicely protected at the back, and then the springs as well holding them in. Behind that then we have the main blade, and you can see we have the 4-layer tang stamp with Victorinox, Switzerland and Rossfry. And then on the back, you can see we have the Officer Swiss with the crossbow. Looks like it's not touching, the bolt not touching the crossbow. Dan's put a really nice edge on this blade as well, and it is scary sharp. Some nice sort of usage on the blade as well, which means although it's one that's discontinued, I will be using this one and I won't be worried about using it because it's already been pre-used and pre-loved, which is nice to see. Nice pull on the blade as well. We're about 5 to a 5.5, then it gets to about a 6, 6.5 for the lockup. And then being a 91mm model, we all know this is of course UK legal with none of the tools locking. We have a 1 to 2.6, just over 2.6 inch blade, full tip to tang, and then a cutting edge of 1 to 2.4 inches. So very world legal, very UK legal, and one that you'll find that most people will recognise and not be sort of offended by or kind of get a bit upset about you using it. And then on the back there, we have a little pen blade, which has also got a nice little bit of use on it. See, real nice edge on there, put on by Dan. Little pen blade then is, what have we got? 1.76 inches tip to tang, and then a cutting edge of pretty much bang on 1.5 inches. Ignore that little bit off the end. It's obviously been sharpened down over time. As you can see, there's a little bit of the belly missing here, but plenty of life left in the blade. Doesn't bother me at all. It's going to get used and abused. Back tools on this then, you'll notice obviously as you've got the bit holder, there is no parcel hook. So we do have the corkscrew with the pinhole on there as well. And then on the back of that, we have that punch, reamer, all blade, whatever you want to call it. Got the sewing eye on there and a nice little edge to help you sort of punch it through leather or any sort of tool jobs you want to do with that, including maybe piloting a hole to drill or to pop a screw in. Just a really great model and one I'm glad to pick up. And of course, now I've had a taster of the smaller Cybertool, I'm going to have to go ahead and pick up the medium and the large, see if I can find them on the secondary. But if not, I'll definitely have to pick these up brand new. So there we go, guys. That's my review of the Victorinox Cybertool Small/29. Model number for this again is 1.7605.T. Pick this up from Dan over at Bladebridge Customs. Again, I'll put all the links to his website and his Instagram in the description below. But I really hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.